Okay, great. So welcome back. Now we are looking at question number 8. So what is it that we see here? This question is based on the cubic graph, right? Yes. So question 8, you can see that it's based on cubic graph. How much was allocated for that? Let's see. They give it 60 marks, you see. So yeah, you will want that 60 marks. Trust me, that 60 marks it's a lot, Oh, you can't afford to lose 60 marks. But just get the easy marks first, and then you worry about getting the other ones. Okay, so what are they saying here? The diagram below shows the graph of f of x. So let me just retrieve the graph straight away. So let me retrieve the graph. So let me retrieve the graph. Let me see if I can try to put it here. It's not going to work. I have to put it on the next page. So as you can see, so you're saying this graph, it represents the graph of f of x, okay, which is what? What is the graph of x? F of x is equals to 2x cubed, right? 2x cubed plus bx squared plus bx squared, okay, plus cx plus d, okay? So that's what we're given, the graph of x. And then point j, point jk and n are the x-intercept, so you can see they're given there. And g is the y-intercept of f. M and n are the turning points, and h the point of inflection, okay? So 8.1.1. Determine the value of B, C, and D in the equation of F. So let's see. I want us to find B, C, and D in the equation of F, okay? So how are you going to go about finding those points? How are you going to go about finding those points? So you see they gave us the intercept here. So okay, one thing that we know is okay, the midpoint, right? How can we get the point M through the midpoint? We can get the point M through the midpoint. So what do you mean by that? There are many ways to solve this, And I see like the success index, then it's just you are using what you know to interpret, So I'm saying the point M, it's a midpoint. So here we're going to have x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2, right? And this is going to be equal to M. So it is the midpoint of what? Now let's see. Oh, looks like I went far. But it's fine. I'll bring it back here. So I'm saying the point M is a midpoint. So I'm saying I have x1 plus x2 over 2, and y1 plus y2 over 2, And this is M, x1. Let's see, what is it that we have there? I'm saying this is the point, right? So I'm going to have negative 1 here and 1 over 2. So I'm going to add negative 1 plus 1 over 2. So this is going to be negative 1 plus 1 over 2 over 2. And then for the y, let's just remember the y values for this one here. For the y, this is 0, and also this one is 0. Is what I'm doing here correct? Oh, yeah, for the x, it's correct. And then for us to find the y, we have to substitute into the original graph. Okay, it's fine. So this is what we have, okay? So like this part, it doesn't apply here. It doesn't apply, right? But for the x, it does apply. So like x at m will therefore be what? Negative 1, right? Negative 1 plus 1 over 2 divided by 2. This is negative 1 over 4. Okay, this is negative 1 over 4. So negative 1 over 4 here. Okay, and then the x that is going to be here, I can just do it by inspection. It will apply the same thing. So it's going to be 1 over 2 plus 3 divided by 2. And that is 7 over 4. That is 7 over 4. Now, how would we have solved for them if we were using the graph itself? Okay. If we're using the graph itself, we know that for us to find the turning point, right, we must derivate. So what the graph says, f of x is equals to 2x cubed, it's equal to 2x cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, right? Now, if we were to solve using this, we are supposed to derivate first to find what 6x squared plus c, right? And thereafter what? And thereafter let f prime of x to be 0, right? So that we can solve for this. So 6x squared plus will be 0, and the fact that it's like this is a quadratic equation which you already know the answers to them, right? So quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. X is equals to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, right? All over 2a. We already know what this is. So a here is 6, b here is 2b. Yeah, actually have come into the middle, but it's fine. 2b, and then c here it's just what? It's c. It's just c now. So yeah, just know what it is like this. So let's see what values do we have. The first one, I got we have x values. We found that our x values here it's what? Negative 1 over 4. We have xs negative 1 over 4, and the other x it's 7 over 4, right? So let's start with the negative 1 over 4 one. So negative b, what is b? B is 2b here, right? Plus minus the square root of b, this is 2b squared minus 4a. A is 6, and then c is just c, right? Divided by 2 multiplied by that a, which is 6, and we saw that this gave us what? This gave us 6. Okay? This gave us 6. So the fact that it's plus minus, like I'm going to look at the plus. Why am I working with the plus? Because like we already have the answers in the split form. So positive goes with the positive, negative goes with the negative. I mean, the answer is what? I'm taking the negative 1 over 4 first. So negative 1 over 4. And then this one here, I'm putting a minus. Okay? So now, if I work it out, what am I going to have? I'm going to have negative 2. Wait, let me check something. Okay, and let's just proceed because what we are doing here might not succeed. But the idea of solving questions in the exam, just write what you do. Okay. The solution might not come easy, but don't stop writing what you know. Write what you know. You find a solution that way. Okay. You see what I have with me here. It appears to be something that is going to take long to solve. But I have, this is one of the way that we can. But you know, if you are impatient, we also know one is it that you also know. You also know that this graph here contains the form f of x is equals to b x minus x1, x minus x2, x minus x3, right? This is what it takes. This is what we know. So we can also use that form too. Let's ignore, but we can continue with this one. We can continue solving it like this, but I'm going to drop it for now because this is one of the way that we can use to solve it though. If there seem to be no other way. So maybe what is important in solving questions to first check how can you solve this question, right? So you check all the possible ways and then we choose the best one that's going to take you to the answer straight away. So x minus x1 and right. So a it's 2 there, it's given as 2, then x minus. So like me, I don't follow this minus in most cases, but it's fine, you can follow that. So one thing that we have minus 1, so this one plus 1 there. So I'm going to have plus 1 there. So here's my plus 1, and then x, this other one is what? Minus 1 over 2, or plus 1 over 2. Let's show, let's check. Yes, 1 over 2, and then that one is 3. So minus 1 over 2, then minus 3. Minus 1 over 2, x minus 3. So this is what we have. Now, we're going to say what? 2, let me ignore this one first and make this 2. X multiplied by negative 3, negative 3x, negative 1 over 2 multiplied by, so that's going to be what? Negative 1 over 2 multiplied by negative 3. That is going to be 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2, right? So this is what we have. And then f of x will be equal to what? Continue simplifying. F of x will be equal to 2x plus 1 and x squared here. These two are going to give me negative 3 minus 1 over 2. That is negative 7 over 2. So I have negative 7 over 2x here, and then now plus 3 over 2. Okay. Then f of x is going to be equal to what? 2. Then I have what? X multiplied by x squared. This is x cubed. X multiplied by negative 7 over 2x. This is going to be negative 7 over 2x squared. X multiplied by 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2x. 1 times x squared plus 1 over 2x. 1 times 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2. Okay. So f of x will be equal to 2x cubed. I mean 2. Let's simplify what's inside first. This one here. It goes with this one here. So negative 7 over 2. Negative 7 over 2 minus 8. Yeah, negative 7 over 2 minus 1. That is negative 9 over 2 x squared. Negative 9 over 2 x squared. This one, it goes with this one, right? And then 3 over 2 minus 7 over 2. 3 over 2 minus 7 over 2, that is going to give me negative 2, right? So this one here is taken care of this one. And then the last one is 3 over 2. So this is x. Okay. So it means finally, what am I going to have? My f of x is what is equal to what? Is equal to 2x cubed minus x plus 3. Okay. So how is a quadratic? How is a cubic graph? X cubed minus bx squared minus cx plus d, right? B here is equal to negative 9. Then c here is equal to negative 4, and d is equal to French solving this. If it is given that it's 2x cubed minus 5x minus 4x plus 3, what is it that you have? You didn't get the very same solution, but I'm not sure why. So we moved 2x cubed minus 5x squared minus 5x squared minus 4x plus 3. Plus 3 is a mistake, but we'll check. Not now, but one thing that I know is you're going to get a similar question. They'll give you something if they know there's a high possibility that people are not going to be able to get it. Let's find the coordinate of n, the minimum turning point of A. So this one is it, right? So how do you get the turning point? Which one is this one? This is 8.1.2. So 8.1.2, you know that to get the turning point, what do we do? We derive. So f prime of x is equal to 2x. F prime of x is going to be what? 6x squared minus 10x minus 4, right? and then but f prime of x equals to 0, so meaning that 6x squared minus 10x minus 4 is equals to 0, right? And since factoring the problem, let's factor out the common number first, which is 2, 3x squared minus 5x here minus 2 is equals to 0, right? Factoring the problem, what do we do? Quadratic form. So we're going to have factors here. X, that is the base, so 1, 3x, and it's going to be 0 here. And then we're going to have x is equals to blah blah blah, or x is equals to blah blah blah, right? So let's make out what is it? The value of x using the quadratic formula. Then c is equals to -2 here. Okay, we're going to work out the value of x using the quadratic formula. So just part of your rough work, but you can just include it. Like there's nothing that is half in exam. See, just write everything. So x is equals to negative b. Our b there it is 5 plus minus the square root of 5 squared minus 4a, which is what? Which is 3. And then c is -2 over 2 multiplied by 3. So I'm just going to solve. I'm no longer going to proceed working out like those long things that I was doing normally. I'm just going to solve. So the first one is a plus, and then what is it that I'm going to get? Plus minus b minus b minus 4a, which is 3c, that is -2. So the first one here is 1 over 3, or x minus -2. So this one here is -2. So I have plus 2 here, then I have -2 here, then I have 1 over 3 here. So this one is 3x minus 1. So the one that is called the minimum turning point. You see n on the graph. And on the graph, you can see that this is what. Let's go back to the graph. Right. Is it and it's on the positive side. So which one is the positive here? Which one is the positive? 1 over 3, right? So it means you're just gonna solve for 1 over 3 and we ignore the other one. So f of 1 over 3 will be equal to what is f of x? This is 2 1 over 3 cubed, right? Minus 5 1 over 3 squared, right? Minus 4 plus 3. Okay, so this is f 1 over 3 equal to. So 2 1 over 3 cubed minus 5 1 over 3 squared minus 4 1 over 3 squared minus 4. I'm making a mistake now. Plus 3. I get 32 over 27. 32 over, solving that one. Now we've managed to work out 8.1.2. Now 8.1.3, for which values of x is f prime of x less than 0? F prime of x less than 0. Okay, so I mean, what kind of a graph do we have for the parabola? Because f prime of x is the parabola. So that's interpretation. Let's see what kind of graph do we have. So this is the graph. F prime of x is 6x squared minus 10x minus 4, right? So this graph gets to be drawn on the graph that we have so that it will make some sense. So let me just retrieve the graph. Let me retrieve the graph because it's very, very important. So, but then we know that f prime of x is 6x squared minus 10x minus 4. Okay, so let me just proceed and then I'll retrieve the graph so that I'll make it have more meaning when you see it. You know? Okay, so let's see. So here is the graph we have retrieved it. So now, because we know that f prime of x is a parabola, which is what, 6x squared minus 10x minus 4, right? So it's a parabola which is going to pass through on the, what is it? So the turning point, right? And as I'm going to talk about the turning point, this one here. Yeah, like this is how the parabola will look like roughly. Okay. So what is it that they're saying? They're saying for which values of x? For which values of x we have f prime of x? For which values of x will f prime of x be less than 0? Less than 0. Where is it negative? Where is it negative? So this is that turning point, x for the turning point, and this is x for the turning point, right? Where is it negative? So see what we have here, the turning points. Here we have the 1/3. Okay, let's check the other one. The other one is -2, right? So this is something like, yeah, this side here, we're gonna have -2 there. So -2. So like you see this side, this part here, coming inside, right? This whole portion here, this is the area that is negative, right? So what does that mean? We have -2 here. Here we have 1/3, right? You see this portion is also x lies in between. So this is the final answer. Okay, so that is it. Now concave down, for which values of x is for which values of x is f concave down. So concave down, what are they saying there? Concave down, you see, when we start talking about concave down, you see this part here, like if I draw it like this is a curve that is facing down. This is the concave down part. So we need the point of concavity. We need a point of concavity. So what is it going to do? We need that to find the point x at h. So we need to do that. X will be 6x minus 10x plus 4 minus 4. We're going to have 12x minus 10, right? But f prime of x will be equal to 0. So 12x minus 10 will be equal to 0, right? And then 12x will be equal to 10, and x will be 10/12, right? So for the graph to be concave down, where? So if you're saying this point here is 10/12, where is the curve facing down? So we see it's this side here, and that's less than this value here. So it means the x must be less than 10/12 for the graph to be concave down. So that is one way you can interpret that. There comes another tricky question. This is the last question. I think I'll stop here for today. Okay, if f of x is, if g of x is equals to px cubed plus q, okay, the cubic function that satisfies the following condition: p is less than 0. You see, p here is less than 0. So if p is less than 0, what time of are you expecting? It won't be like this one. It won't be like this one. Remember, one is less than 0. So it won't be like this one that we have here. See, this one's like this, right? That one, it must be like this. Okay, so that's the time shift that you're expecting. Let's see what is it that they're saying as well. If that is less than 0, okay, g prime of m is equals to g of m g prime of m is equals to g of m. Okay, where m is greater than 0. I mean, these are the turning points, so there's nothing much. So yeah, just have to sketch that for the graph. The sketch will look like this. They're expecting a graph. You to draw a graph of this form. A graph. Don't worry about a lot. Wait, let me see something. G prime of m is equals to g of m, which is equals to 0. So yeah, they're expecting a scale of that nature. So you have to do something of that nature, and then you get your marks. So that is it for now. So yeah, we'll meet in the next question.